Merry meet, Annie here. This video is on the subject of the season of Samhain. And so this is Samhain, and what have you done? Another year over, a new one begun. With apologies to John, I have borrowed that because it is a reflection on the fact that a new year has begun and that we owe that new year something. Samhain is just past. We no longer owe last year anything. We've honored it, we've given thanks for it at Mabon, we've celebrated it, and we've released it at Samhain. One of the things that I find happens very often in the neo-pagan community is that we anticipate the holidays. If at the beginning of October we started focusing on Samhain, we did not fully experience the season of Mabon. And now Samhain is here. Samhain is not over. Samhain is the season from Samhain until Yule. And it's very important in nature-based spirituality such as ours that we live the wheel of the year and appreciate that. Samhain is not a moment. There was the rite of Samhain when we did something particular. That was a moment. But then there is living Samhain through the year until the arrival of the solstice. So the question will be not only what have you done, which we released at the beginning of the season of Samhain, but what will you begin in this new year? Many of us who adopt the wheel of the year are adopting vestiges of a Celtic celebration that honored the agrarian cycle of the year. And one of the great powers of that way, which can be a little lost in the busyness of the way we frantically celebrate or try to relate to the pattern of the wheel in our lives, is the balance of the dark and the light sides of the year. Samhain is not over. Samhain has just begun. We now live in the dark, the quiet time of the year. In our beliefs, it is the new year. And we believe that in the darkness is the beginning. Everything begins there. Everything returns there. It's the promise of the wheel that when it comes to living the season of Samhain, that we relax into the darkness. I always think this time of the year, I always find a tree in the neighborhood that stands alone enough that it's complete. It's just there by itself and it's not confused by the presence of other trees. And I select that tree and I watch it every day as the fall moves over it. And as the sun kisses it, the ever brighter sun, which hits harder as there's no diffusion through other leaves and other branches, and the sky is no longer humid in the land where I live, and the sun touches things with great clarity and great brightness. The first color in the changing of that tree starts at the very top, and every day you see it moving down over the tree, and then following behind that glorious vibrant color as the green releases to yellows and reds and oranges. Then comes the washing over the tree of the release and the fall and the dropping of the leaves and the visibility of the skeleton of the tree. And what an online friend once called the witch's fingers of the naked branches against the sky. We, living this season, should feel that. We should feel as we stand that with each day that passes, that coming down over us is first the glory of that last powerful kiss of summer and fall, and then like a cloak or a mantle, something soft, almost like feathers, the darkness settles upon us. and we welcome it. Because it means dropping everything that's no longer important, that we don't take into this turn of the year. Some things, like seeds in the ground, live on. They're not gone from our life, but they're settled into the place invisible for the time being. Some things, like the leaves that fall from the trees, are meant to be gone, to fall into decay and no longer be part of our life. But the responsibility we owe this turning, the season of Samhain, is living in the release of both that which is no longer needed and that which is a seed now in the darkness and buried, and we will welcome it, embrace it upon its rebirth. But for now, there is the peace, the quiet, the promise of darkness. Release rushing. Release committing yourself to more than you can do. Release busyness. Give yourself time. Take long walks and read and listen to music. Release the hectic parts of the lives most of us live. Release yourself from expectation, from I must do this, I must meet this deadline, I must be this. And also release yourself from that you put upon others the same. In the dark of the year, it begins. Within you is something that will move and rise up and transform you and change you. Every year, you begin anew. You decide what the year will be. You decide what you will be, what you will owe your personal promise to, who you will be in relationship to others. Allow yourself to relax into that. There is nothing about this time of year which hurries you. Living in the darkness each year, we take the time to remember again, who is she? Who is Goddess? Who is she to us? How do we see her in ourselves and in others? And who is the God? How does he live within us? How does he live in others? They are each so powerful in who they are at this turning of the wheel. Refamiliarize yourself with their stories and the power of each of them. They are not invisible at this time of the year. They have come into the power of this time of year. And if we don't relax into the darkness and live the season, the length of Samhain, we have denied ourselves the right to be who we are most powerfully at this time of year. As with each turning of the year, our power shifts and our inspiration and our sources shift, and what we need and what we offer shifts, and that is as it should be. This is the season of water. The quiet, still, reflective nature of water. Meditating, looking to that mirror to reflect back to us the true nature of ourselves. Ease into the season. Know that Samhain is not a night, an experience. It is the beginning of the season of Samhain. Live the length of it. Blessings of the season to you. May the quiet settle upon you, and may you feel it as peace and the opportunity to relax, to let go, and have the complete freedom to begin again. I wish you mirth and reverence and silence. Mary Part.